Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Westmoreland Tyler charged with mechanic's death. A Westmoreland Tyler has been charged with the murder of 25-year-old Adam Corey, a mechanic that was gunned down in his community of Retreat, Little London last month. The accused has been identified as 23-year-old Miranda Watkins, otherwise called Budbrain, of a Hudson Street, Savannah Lamar address. Watkins was positively identified by a witness during a video identification parade on August 3rd. According to police reports on Friday, July 15 at 8:45 a.m., 25-year-old Smith was at his workshop when a motorcycle, driven by Watkins, along with a pillion, drove up posing as customers. Watkins reportedly pretended as though the motorcycle had a defect to grab Smith's attention. Reports were that as Smith walked towards the men, the pillion brandished a firearm and opened gunfire at him. He ran off, but the gunmen gave chase. Smith collapsed after receiving several shot wounds to his face and upper body. He was subsequently transported to the Savannah Lamar Public Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Watkins was later apprehended during a police operation. Westmoreland man gunned down in front of funeral home. A man was shot dead in front of Darling's funeral home on Darling Street, Westmoreland, while riding his bike to work early Monday morning. The deceased has been identified as 38-year-old Adrian Brother Dog Samuels, a groundsman who was employed with the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation. The deceased sister, Dale Samuels, told reporters that she was at work when she got the news about her brother's death. "I worked me there last night, me can't even find the words to say," the distraught sister said. She told reporters that one of her brothers heard several gunshots and said it had to be Samuels because he just rode off on his bicycle. Him hear the bullets, and by the time he won't come out, he see him on the ground on the bicycle with pure blood, she revealed. The grieving woman said while she does not believe in revenge, she wants her brother's killer to suffer. "We don't believe in revenge, but you see, Father God, I go take care of it. Suffer, we want them suffer. Every tear we cry if we drop on them, and them forget suffering," she said furiously. She is particularly concerned about her mother, who she said is now traveling to Westmoreland from Portland, St. Catherine on her own. She described the country's current crime situation as bad. "Innocent people are dead. You don't know where to put your foot. My heart wouldn't feel so if an argument him did in and somebody stab him," she reasoned as she held his bicycle and gently pushed it home. Dead gunman remains unidentified. The gunman who was shot dead on Thursday in Gregory Park, St. Catherine, remains unidentified up to this morning. The Corporate Communications Unit of the JCF told reporters they have no record of him being identified. A police military team went to a section of the community called Mexico last week Thursday, where it was met with gunfire, which the team returned. After the shooting subsided, the man was found dead. A subsequent search of the area led to the recovery of 2 AK-47s, 1 M16, 2 shotguns, and a handgun. And the curfew which was imposed in the area to de-escalate tensions between warring factions came to an end on Saturday evening. Reporters understand that a long-standing internal conflict is the reason behind the recent flare-up of violence in the community. Several houses have been firebombed within the last 7 days. Residents told reporters that sporadic gunfire is a feature throughout the nights. Jamaica 60 celebrations cost over $200 million, GOJ reveals. The government spent just over $200 million to host Grand Gala and the Floating Street Parade in celebration of Jamaica's 68th year of independence. Minister of Culture Oliver Grange made the disclosure about the 2 major Diamond Jubilee events while speaking with reporters.
Approximately 100 million. And on the float, it will be a little over 100 million. And I'm telling you, those figures take into consideration goodwill from private sector and their support, and persons involved just be patriotic and making it a labor of love, because we could not put a price tag, the real price tag, on what we have done if we did not have dedicated and loyal and patriotic Jamaicans involved, including the people who swept the streets after the float parade. Firstly, I think the gates were closed too early, too soon, because there were some seats, especially in the bleachers, there were some seats. Also, we did a few extra tickets, because when we have an event, you will find that tickets will be distributed, and some people do not turn up. And so we end up with these empty seats. And in addition to that, persons turned up at the stadium without tickets. But we are going to fast track the development of the indoor and of the stadium complex in totality, and particularly the National Stadium, so that the next milestone anniversary, we will be able to accommodate many, many more Jamaicans.
In the meantime, Senior Advisor in the Ministry of Culture, Lenford Samon, says he believes that 300 drone display has been the ultimate highlight of the Grand Gala.
It wasn't easy, again, because of time limitations, because this is a developing technology. There are few people across the world, particularly in our region, who can do this exercise. And so it was very hard to find one which was available in the short space of time, but we had come around to making that decision to execute. But we did find somebody who was willing to push and to believe in the dream we had and to assist us to do it. As Minister mentioned, it's not a penny exercise at all. It's expensive to do. But I'm very happy that we did it. People seem very pleased about it, and it has now become the highlight. I think that's what people will remember most about it.
JET CEO questions how people impacted by Ray Corby fish kill will benefit from Wundalco sanctions. Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaica Environmental Trust, JET Dr. Teresa Rodriguez Moody, is questioning how the people impacted by the recent fish kill at the Ray Corby benefit from the planned drawdown of Wundalco's environmental performance ban. The ban has a value of more than $771,000 US. Dr. Rodriguez Moody says it is critical that they are compensated as their livelihoods were disrupted due to the contamination of the river.
What would be the mechanism to use? How will they use it? How will they determine how many fishers have been impacted or farmers have been impacted? There's a bit of legwork that has to be done. How much losses, the value of the loss, all of that has to be determined, because you can't just go in and just dole out cash. It has to be done appropriately, because if you have data, you have an understanding of who are the fishers, who are the farmers, how many of them, what's their livelihood, how much they earn per week based on, and how they actually depend on the river, so that whenever you have an issue like this, you're able to better quantify the value of the losses. We are not in the habit of valuing our environmental resources as well. It's not exactly easy to do either. So, this is where we also see something that is necessary to properly value the environmental resources, so that when there is damage done, you'll understand how much it really costs to rehabilitate, because you really can't restore. Once an environmental resource is damaged, it's very difficult to restore to its original condition. You really have to rehabilitate. It has the potential to impact productivity. They're probably running their numbers. They're probably looking at it and seeing that this is going to have an impact, and they may come with an alternative proposal in an appeal. I think the minister hears it, consult with the technical people to determine whether or not this is something that we should consider, and, whether or not we're going to overturn the original decision. That would be, I guess, the next step, or to keep it.
Senate President says some Jamaicans fail to appreciate the successes of post-independence Jamaica. President of the Senate, Tom Tavares Finson, says Jamaica has achieved much over the years, but he is of the view that we as a people have the capacity to underrate and underestimate the progress we have made. He was speaking at a joint sitting of the Parliament to mark Jamaica's 60th anniversary of independence.
We now have a literacy rate of over 91%. In 63, that figure was 40%. The quality of our housing stock has improved significantly, and in those days, many persons continue to live in wattle and daub. Only photographs we see of such living conditions nowadays. Childhood diseases were rampant, and in the time of independence, to a large extent, we have put those issues behind us. We have a legal system that is the envy of many. In fact, the learned director of public prosecutions will tell you that her officers serve all over the Caribbean. Press freedom in Jamaica is understood. We hardly even have to make mention of it. The Electoral Commission of Jamaica runs an electoral system and provides personnel to assist throughout the world, not only in Commonwealth countries. We have a military, professional, highly competent, and a police security system which is undergoing rapid improvement. We have a trade union movement that has never got in the way of our national development. Our trade union movement has been a vehicle of development. We have a vibrant private sector.
St. Andrew South Police named person of interest. The St. Andrew South Police have named Mario Palmer of Sams Avenue, Kingston 11 as a person of interest. Detectives believe Palmer can assist them with their investigations into recent crimes in the parish, including an incident of murder. He is being urged to turn himself into the Hunts Bay Police by 5 p.m. today. Anyone with information that can assist the police to locate Palmer is asked to contact the Hunts Bay Police at 876-923-7111, the Police 119 number, or the nearest police station. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and